Good afternoon, traders. Sasha here with another exciting video. Today we are learning about the trend lines and buy and sell zones. Trend lines can help us, besides the horizontal lines, to find these support resistance levels. Quick disclaimer that this is just how I see the markets. This is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold. We're going to start with just a quick explanation what the trend lines are. So if we look at the market is in the uptrend, but market never goes straight line up or straight line down, right? So what we are doing, basically, we are looking at the market to do these kinds of things, okay? And we call these things swings. So swing from low to high, swing from higher low to higher high. Why is it called higher low? Well, because it's higher than a previous low. Okay, this used to be a low, this used to be a high. Okay, now this is a higher low. This higher low is higher than this one, and this higher high is higher than the previous high. Okay, so in order to connect the trend lines, we collect in the uptrend, we connect lows. So lower low with a higher low. Okay, so we're going to do this, and the trend line will extend, and we'll see that the market pretty much all the time bounces off that trend line. Okay, trend lines are basically support and resistance levels, same as the horizontal lines. We look at that exactly the same way. This would be a horizontal line. So when the market comes to a certain point, comes down, bounces off, breaks this resistance here that we're trying to break. When it pulls up, comes back to retest, basically either a trend line or a horizontal line, and we move on. Okay, we are looking to buy into these trend lines or horizontal lines, and when you get two of them like this, let's say, okay, market went up like that, okay, and came down here, we are looking at this zone to buy in, give us some more confidence that we have a horizontal line as well as the trend line at the same exact point, and we're just waiting for the signal to give us a boost to jump into this trade and continue on making profit. Looking at this chart right here, we're always the most interested in the price, or where the price is located at the moment. Okay, so if we look at what's going on in this market, this was the highest high that we can see here. We can see one line there, and we can see that this line connects to this high and to this high, and also connects to this higher low. Okay, if we extend the trend line like this, we can see the market bounced once, twice, 3, 4 times, 5 times at the same level, 6, 7, 8 times as it was coming down here. So when we made this higher high, this was another swing that we are looking at. So the market does this, comes back, and moves on. Okay, so we are looking at this trend line right now to see, was there any opportunity for us to actually do some trading. We are also interested in a couple of things. Okay, so if we look at this picture here, okay, this is our trend line. So we have a market that's going from here, let's say, to this level. So this is the market going like that. Okay, we have our trend line that we pulled from by connecting this low and this lower low and this higher low. Okay, so we have, the more times market touches the trend line, the more important the trend line or that resistance is important for us to look at and to find these opportunities to trade from. Okay, so as long as the market, when you're looking from left to right, okay, market is climbing. As long as the market stays on this side of the trend line, so it's bouncing on top of the trend line, okay, that's called a buy zone. Okay, we are looking to buy into this market. Okay, every time you see the market is bouncing on top of the trend line, we are trying to buy into that market. When the market comes down to these to the trend line, or when it comes down to the horizontal line, if you can find two of them that connect at the same time and you get a signal at that same point, that's even more important for us to look at than just one thing from the market. So I don't just utilize horizontal lines. I look at everything that's possibility that gives me a higher possibility to jump into the trade and be more successful or not lose my profits. Okay, so once the market comes down to this trend line, okay, from the top, we are still in the buy zone. We are looking to buy in at those levels. However, sometimes market starts coming down. It doesn't go always to the top. So we have this, and then market finally breaks. Okay. Once it breaks this trend line over here, okay, we are waiting for the market to come back to this trend line to retest this now resistance because it's below the trend line, okay, and to show us its hand that it's going to start coming down even more. Okay, this pattern is also called a head and shoulders. Okay, so we have one shoulder, we have a head and another shoulder, and then market starts coming down. Okay, so this is the pattern like this. But more important, I'm going to talk about this pattern sometimes later on. But once the market breaks below the trend line, so now we are on this side of the trend line, this becomes a sell zone. This is becoming now the sell zone. So we are not looking to buy into this market until it comes to a certain point, either meet our horizontal line and bounces off there and then starts moving on and makes a higher high, higher than the previous one that broke below the trend line, and then we reconnect this trend line to that level and the market continues on into positive. Okay, let me clear this because it's becoming really so if we have the market like this, okay, and then we have the trend line that's like this, market is still in the buy zone. Okay, this is our higher high or highest high that we can look at. Market breaks to the downside, comes back to the trend line, and it starts coming down. Okay, and then let's say it finds support at this horizontal line, bounces off from there, okay, and it starts making these higher highs. Okay, once this high is broken, we can reconnect, we can disregard this one, the trend line, and we can reconnect this trend line from this low, because this low was very important, to this higher low, because this higher low created this higher high, and then we have this new trend line. Okay, and now we are waiting for the market to come down here, and if it matches with our horizontal line and gives us a signal, we can buy into this market. Okay, let's take a look at that on the real chart instead of me just drawing it constantly. So from this moment here to this here, we had a trend line. Okay, market was coming up, it came down once and made a higher high. This high is higher than this one. This low is lower than this higher low. Okay, I'm just going to mark them on the chart so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's do this quickly. Brush. Okay, so we're looking at this low here and this high here. We have a higher low, higher high. Okay, this was the swing. All right, then the market comes down and then it makes a higher high. Okay, this is a higher high and makes a higher low. Okay, makes an even higher low than this one, and this higher low creates this higher high right there. So the market came down here, played around, and then created this higher high. Can we see it? So we have a swing, retracement, swing, retracement, swing, retracement, swing. Okay, so now our trend line is going to go from here to this higher low, because this higher low created this higher high. Okay, you can see that, right? So I can do this from here. I can connect this trend line. Okay, as you can see, as I extend this, okay, we created this, we connected this low now to this higher low. This one is not important because it cuts through the candles if I would just put it like this, right? But we can see also that the market broke to the side, but with the next session right there, broke above again right away and started moving up. So we have to move this trend line here because this higher low, this one here, is more important than this one here, okay? And you can see how the market comes down with this pin bar here, touches this line, and then moves on the market to the upside, okay? Comes down here with this green candle and continues on. This high takes over from the previous high here, okay? I'm gonna mark it so you can see with the horizontal line, okay? So you see this high, now it's broken with this higher high, okay? So this trend line goes like that, okay? Now, we are continuing on, right? So we have this higher low, higher high. We have another higher low, higher high. So from here, we are going to connect this low. So let's do this. So from this was important for us. We connect this low that creates this high, not higher than this one. This one creates the higher high. So we would love to do this one. However, we're going to connect this one here because this higher low is higher than this one here, also higher than this one here, and also creates the higher high. Okay, so this higher low created lower high. Okay, it's not higher than this one, right? So we are going to disregard this one here and disregard this one, right? We are still connecting from this higher low that created this higher high to the low, which is right here, that creates a higher high, higher than this one, the previous one, okay? So if I pull the line through it, okay, see? This used to be a high, now this is a higher high. I'm gonna just enlarge the picture so now you can see it. So here, the top on this one is broken with this one here and the market moved on. Okay, so this is why the trend line is sitting the way it is right now. Okay, now we have this higher low, higher high. Okay, then we have a higher low, higher high. So now we have another trend line to pull. This is why I don't use that many trend lines. Okay, the most important to me is the one that's closest to the price. Okay, so now we created another higher high, higher low, higher high. This is the highest high we have. So we have a swing. Then the market continued on here. So this is this whole thing is a swing. Market came down. We connected this trend line when the market created this new higher high. Okay, so we have swing, retracement, swing, retracement. Now we have a retracement to this trend line. You see how this trend line is important? As well, we have a higher high right there. And I put the trend line right here on top of this green candle. I put it there because this is the last time where the bulls had the power before bears took over and pushed the market down. Okay, this created a higher high, and this is the last point where the bulls showed their hand. Okay, after breakout here, I will do this here too. I'm gonna put a line on top of that green candle right there because this is the last time where the bulls showed their hand and showed their hand, meaning that the price, like the full part of the body, is stopped like right there at 179.41. Then the market started coming down. Okay, so you see now these horizontal lines where they meet the trend line. Okay, the price of the trend line is still above the trend line, meaning that we are still in a buy zone. We are still in a buy zone. So we are still in the buy zone, okay? Because this trend line right here and the price is traveling still above this trend line. Okay, when we came to this level here, okay, so you can see how important is this horizontal line as well as this cross section of the trend line and horizontal line at the same time. Okay, so take a look. When the market came down, we created this beautiful pin bar here. Pin bar that did not work out. Unfortunately, it did not work out. Okay, and I would not take it because, first of all, it is a pin bar candle. However, it is not a real pin bar because the body of this pin bar is not within the previous candle. So this is disregard. Okay, this is not a right pin bar. But then the market comes down here, and as you can see here, this is our horizontal line. We have our trend line as well at the same point. This is our cross section. This is our bullseye that we are looking at to buy from. Okay, bears lost their power right on this line, where if we look at the past, we can see the bulls lost their power right at that line. Okay, so that's resistance level turned now into support. We know how that works, right? So market breaks out, pulls back, retest, extension, right? So we have a loss of bearish power. Bears lost their power here. They managed to the next day to push the price a little bit down, okay, and then bulls take over. And take a look what happens after that. Okay, we have this beautiful, huge engulfing bar right on this support level, as well as the cross section of the trend line. Now, if you look at this trend line here, I'm going to clean this. I'm gonna clean this market because I'm sorry. I'm gonna clean this picture because it's getting like really nasty right there. But let's kind of increase the thickness of this trend line, okay, and thickness of this support level, okay. So now we can see that when the bears lost their power at that line, okay, we got a bullish power. Bulls were once again in the game and they're super strong to push the market up, okay. So we also have a beautiful signal at that cross section, okay, so that gives you more confidence to jump into the trade, okay, which you would do on top of the candle when it's broken and your stop line goes below the candle. So, or we can use Fibonacci about 50% of the candle. Okay, it's up to you. I explained that before if you looked at my videos before. But the most important thing is that if you look at this horizontal line, first of all, the market went below that horizontal line, but closed the price above. This is the close of the price. We can also see that this trend line got broken with the bears. However, the bulls in the next session broke above and closed the price above the trend line. So we have one confirmation, which is a horizontal line. Second confirmation here, which is a trend line. Okay, so they're intersecting at the same level that we're looking at to buy in. Plus, we know that the market is in the uptrend. So that's number one. Number two, we have resistance. And number three, we get a signal. Signal is right there. And then when the market broke that top of the line of that signal, we have our buy-in. We have our buy-in. And how far can we go from there? Well, we marked already this 179.41, and that's our price where the market will stop. And take a look. The market comes to that point exactly. Okay, so this is how you can use the trend lines in the trading pattern. Okay, that will be much easier for you to be more confident. I'm going to clean this. I'm going to clean all the drawings here because this is just getting ridiculous. I can't show you anything anymore from here. But I'm going to put just the trend line so you can see it from here. So from here to here. Okay. We can see right there. All right. All right, so these two are connected now. All right, so now we can see and horizontal line, okay? horizontal line. So when we made this swing to the upside, this is where the bulls lost their power before the market fell. It fell down towards this trend line that I marked already. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time here. Okay, if you want to take a look right there. So we have a long-term and the short-term trend line. Okay, so as long as the market is above the trend line, is in a buy zone. If it falls, like in this case, it broke down underneath this trend line here, and if the price continued on, we would expect for the market to bounce off of this trend line here and give us an opportunity to go into buy zone once again. Or if it breaks below this trend line again, we would be fully in the sell zone. So buy zone, okay, so this is a buy zone because it's above the trend line. Sell zone when the market broke with this red candle here. However, it was also at the intersection of this support and the support from the trend line. And in the next session, next week, pardon me, this is a weekly candle. Market just took off, closed the price above trend line as well as the horizontal line, and we have a full-on back in the buy zone signal, and we buy on top once the candle is broken and your stop loss goes below. Okay, so this is how the market works, and this is how we define like these buy and sell zones. You would know like when to wait until the market shows its hand, or where to buy in. Okay, so it gives you more confidence in buying and selling power. Okay, why did we mark this as 179.30 as our target? Well, if you take a look at here, the highest level here where the bulls came, this is where they lost their power. The height of this green candle, the height, the body finished right here, and then in the next session the bears took over. So this is the last breath that the bulls took at this point of level, and then 179.45 becomes our target. Basically, this is where the bulls stop. They were stopped there by the bears. Okay, and then they resisted. Once again, they created a pin bar. Bears took over, pushed the market down. Okay, we came to this bullseye, and then we are looking into buying in. We had our super opportunity here to buy in at that level, and then the market took us exactly to the level where the bulls lost their power. And look how this candle just right away just touches that and then comes down with this beautiful pin bar. And then another day, pardon me, another week, we have another pin bar developing at this level. So what we can expect for the market is to fall up to this level here, and this trend line probably, or even come down to this 154 and give us another swing at this stock. So we are basically stuck in this kind of a limbo of the price. Okay, so we have this support level, we have this resistance level, and the market is basically going sideways. Okay, so we are expecting either market to break up below here and continue on in a sell zone to the next level, or market breaks above and continues on after retests this resistance area. Okay, so we are basically in this no man land. Okay, we are basically going sideways. We are in this consolidation price level, and then from there on we are just waiting for the market to show us its hand. Okay, let's take a look at Air Canada. I'm gonna just quickly show you what I'm looking at the Air Canada right now. And if we look at this, okay, so what we did here, or what I did here, I connected these most important, this support and resistance levels. Okay, and why is this so important? Well, take a look at, first of all, the past. We always look at the past, right? So we can see the one bounce, second, third, fourth. So we know that this level, this support level at 1946 is very important. Okay, we can also connect this higher low with the lower low on one side, and we can create this, what people call usually a channel. when the market starts kind of a descending. Okay, market is kind of descending right now, and we connect these higher highs with the higher lows, pardon me, lower highs. Okay, so then we have the top of the channel, we have the bottom of the channel. Okay, so that becomes our resistance and our support level, as well as we have horizontal lines to help us out with these levels. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is the following. Okay, so if you can see, the market did the swing. So we're still in the swing from the low to high. We are in this, we are in this market swing, basically up and down from 28 to 1946. We are in this consolidation, okay, this horizontal channel, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter how you call it, as long as you understand what are we doing, okay? So if we look at the price right now, the price is kind of sloping down. See, it's sloping down. It's not able to make a higher high. It's making a lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower lows. Okay, so why I put it here instead of here, this line? Well, because this low here, okay, this low here is lower than this one here. This is higher low. Okay, so basically, if you would to put a trend line here, which is not really feasible, but if you would to put the trend line here, you would have something like this. Okay, market is kind of going into this. It's basically squeezing the price into this. After these kind of squeezes, okay, these kind of squeezes are really, really important to look at, and the reason why, because the breakouts from the squeezes like that are very powerful, very strong, and very, very fast movers, right? So if we allow the price to completely squeeze, which is happening right now, it's basically coming down like this, okay, between these two lines, okay? We are expecting for the market either to break below this level here or just rapidly breaks out, retests, and then moves on to these targets that we already set. Okay, this is predicting the market. Okay, we also can see on the chart that because we connected this higher trend line, or trend line that's sloping down, okay, in this channel, this is basically a channel. Okay, we can see that after a few touches where the market touched this level here, this trend line becomes really a huge resistance for the market. And look where the market stopped. Look where the price stopped. First of all, we got the somebody asked me, how do we know, like, kind of where to take partial profits, or where to look for the market to stop? Well, basically you can use either horizontal lines, or you can use the trend line. Even better when you have these kind of a cross sections, that's like way, way, way higher percentage or point of the market to bounce from there. But in this case, as the market is sloping down, okay, and we have this horizontal line, and also this kind of thing, this little trend line here, that's kind of connecting this low with this higher low. Okay, so we have this kind of a ascending triangle, pardon me, descending triangle over there. Okay, so market stopped here, basically couldn't break this resistance. Okay, this is the resistance now. Okay, and then in the next session, the bears are taking over and the market is slowly sloping down. Okay, so what I want to see, as I said before, we had the runway market from here. This was a runway market with a couple of announcements, and we didn't catch the break here. We were not able to buy or jump into this market. So the market is coming down at this point of time, and I would like to see the market come down to this 1946 again, as I mentioned before. Then we would have a triple bottom here, and we would have a better opportunity to buy in from there. Also, market could do this thing, okay? You can either go sloping like this slowly and break out like really fast like this, as I showed you, with this slope, with this triangle that's being created here. This is a resistance. This is the support of the triangle, okay? If the market breaks above, it will come back, retest very quickly, and then depends what kind of a breakout we have. If we have a bullish engulfing bar breakout, we can have like this really nasty and fast moving market to the upside. So if we break above retest, market can just jump like in 2 sessions or 1 session and get to the first target for us. We can see a bounce here, very important. We have horizontal line as well as the trend line that's coming down. Okay, market is falling down slowly. I would like to see the market come down here, or it can do something like this. Okay, it can do like this and then start rising and then break above here. We get into buy zone. We basically break this resistance. We retest this level, gives us a signal on the trend line. It doesn't have to be horizontal line, and then we have a jump from there. Okay, so this is how we trade trend lines. Basically, if the market breaks in the next session above, we are in the buy zone. We are waiting for the retest, and then we are in the buy zone. If we get a signal from here, okay, depending what kind of signal we get, either a bullish engulfing bar or pin bar or inside bar, depending on that. I already explained how these breakouts work. So this is where I'm looking at Air Canada right now. We are still in the sell zone. We are below the trend line. We are below resistance. So I'm still waiting for the market to come down here to the 1946 to give us a price, and then we can buy into this market. So that's Air Canada for you. All right, and then I'm just gonna jump quickly to Litecoin. I was just looking at that today, and interesting stuff. You can see all these trend lines that I basically marked and some Fibonacci's. Okay, so let me just clear this so you can understand what I'm talking about and what I'm doing here. So what we have here is we have our resistance here, which is far away from there. So what I'm looking at right now, I'm always interested the most with the price that's closest to the, like a price that's closest to the support and resistance, where the price is located right now, right? So this is what we are looking at right now. It's either this support here, which was really hardly broken here with any of these. Market is above, but if we look at how many times we bounced off of these levels, this becomes a very significant level for us. Okay, so what I'm looking at, a Litecoin here, is 104.76 area here for the market to find support. This is on a weekly chart. Let's go to daily. Okay, for the market to find this support right there and then bounces off. All right, at the moment, what we have here is also the trend line that we can pull from here to here. Okay, and this is why we're stalling at this level. Okay, we are stalling at this level because we are just right now bouncing off of this trend line. We are still in a buy zone, and we also have a horizontal support. Okay, and why horizontal support? Well, this green huge candle here, okay, this is where the bulls lost their power before the market came down. Okay, and then once it broke out, we pulled back. This was the retest. We had an inside bar break of this candle here and took us in. All right, now we are sitting at this cross section on a daily chart, where we can basically wait for the signal to develop on a daily chart and then buy in. Where would be our target? Well, this is our target, guys. This is what last time where the bulls had power before bears taking over. Okay, so what I'm looking at right now is, this is a Litecoin again. All right, this is this intersection here on the daily chart. We're talking about the daily chart. On the weekly chart, I'm waiting for the market to come down to this 104.76. But if we develop nice bullish signal at this junction here, we can expect for the market to go all the way 131.09. Okay, so that will be a nice buy-in from this area. So 114 to 131, nice profits over there. So that's how I'm looking at these Markets, it's very simple. You don't have to make it too complicated. At the moment, we're looking at the market. Market is in the uptrend. We're looking at a daily chart. Um, I can pull the chart like this, but that's too far. Okay, it's pretty much too far. And but funny, that I did that right now. I just totally forgot that I was not even looking in the past. But anyways, take a look. I marked this red line on the weekly chart, okay? But take a look how many times we bounced off of this level here in the previous market. So let me just enlarge the picture here and take a look at that, okay? So market came down all the way here. We had one bounce, had no opportunity to buy in anything, but at the second bounce or double bottom, we get this beautiful engulfing bar, okay? Bouncing off of that level, 104.76, and the market just moves on. Where do we stop? Well, our target was last level where the bulls showed their hand, which was right there. Sorry, which was right here, right here. And my God, okay, where do we stop? Well, the market stopped right there and then breaks out from there, and then it gives you a bullish engulfing candle to move on, and so on and so forth. Do you guys see the power of the charts? So anyways, I marked this red line on a weekly chart just where the price is located right now, and guess what? The market always repeats itself at the same level, okay? Once, twice, three, four times. Look at that. Look at that. So do we see this price? This is where I marked this red line here because of this. Take a look. Because of these two. And we can see the market broke through it, hardly closed the price on this side, hardly broke on this side, had a little bit of a fun on this one, just a little bit below this 98.38, and then it breaks above right away. So on a daily chart, we are looking at signal developing at this crosshairs right there. This is a daily chart. However, on the weekly chart, we are looking at for the market to fall to 104.45 and possibly gives us a signal here if that happens, and then move on from there to 131.09. So that's how I can see the markets developing at this point of time. And you can take a look at any chart. It comes to the same points. Let's Ethereum. Let's do the Ethereum here. Basically, same thing. Okay. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to just mark where the bulls jumped into the game, right? So this is where the bulls jumped in once, then a second time, okay? Then we have this level here that where the market stopped, okay? So we were coming down, market stopped here, so developed a resistance. Now we broke above that resistance. It's a weekly chart. So this candle is still in development, as you can see. So right here, we had a resistance, okay? So we had the market fall below, came to this point, create this higher low. So we had a lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high. Where are we now? Well, according to the trend line, we are in the buy zone. We are also above this resistance level here. This candle is still in development here. This candle can turn into something like this. It can become a pin bar, which will give us an opportunity to jump in as soon as the top of the pin bar is broken. This is a retest of this 3,230, and this is where I'm looking at right now. Okay, I'm looking at this horizontal line at this point of time because we're quite far from the trend line. That will be right there like that, something similar to that. So we're looking for the signal to develop here, which is also developing today because it's a weekly chart. And I want to jump in and stay longer term in this trend, in this trade. So I want to make higher profits than just 5-minute charts where you can get a few dollars here and there and risking a lot. So basically, that's how you look at any of these any of these on the side that you can see, these are all cryptocurrencies that I'm looking at and buying and selling them. Most of them, not most of them, all these ones that I have marked right here are also available on the Wealth Simple that I'm using. So you can buy and sell any of these on the Wealth Simple. Another thing, and one last thing that I want to show you, a trick. Okay, so since we are dealing with the Canadian currency, as I am dealing with the Canadian currency, to switch the prices here into Canadian currency, you see this little kind of a button here, it says US dollar. Okay, so all you need to do is just click on that and switch it to any currency you want. Okay, if you want to look at it. So let's switch to Canadian dollars. Okay, and now we can see the price in Canadian dollars. It didn't switch here, it's still showing the US dollars, but here you can see it's $4,036. $4,036 now. So we are now looking at Canadian value, Canadian dollar value. Okay, you can see it here. I just changed the value of the dollar, so now the chart is showing me, because in Wealth Simple you will get this kind of a price, not US dollars. Okay, so that's what we're looking at right now. This is Sasha. I hope you learned something new. We talked about the buy and sell zones. You know now how to plot the trend lines. Okay, so if any confusion arises from what I tried to explain today, I hope you can send me a message at this point of time on the YouTube, and I will try to answer it or make another video for you to understand better. So this is another piece or another tool that I put it in your toolbox to use, and you are now more richer than you think. One of these courses would cost thousands and thousands of dollars, what I'm explaining to you within like maybe an hour of the trading course. Anyways, this is how I see the markets. This is not a recommendation for anybody to buy, sell, or hold any securities. This is the way I see the markets. You can do your own research if you're not sure what it is, but you can always drop me a note, or please do subscribe. Thank you for liking my videos, and have a great day. This is Sasha. Peace out.